Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, DL Jones. This is the DL Jones Show, and today I'm going to be telling you about some of the things that I watch when I'm sitting back chilling and I'm checking out YouTube, some of my favorite channels, the reason why I watch them, what's so good about the channels that I like to watch. Now, my follow list is long because, you know, I used to kind of use my follow list sort of as a bookmarking tool. Like if I see a channel that has content that I like, I will follow them or subscribe to them because I want to be able to, you know, be able to always see their updates and all of that kind of stuff. But the way the YouTube algorithm works, they don't always show you the stuff that you follow. I know I follow a bunch of people that I haven't seen their videos pop up when I turn on YouTube in a year. I would say a year or so, you know, and I'll go every once in a while, I'll go through my subscribers and I'll see all of this list of stuff that I completely forgot that I subscribed to because YouTube just don't show me their content anymore. All right, so I'm going to start off with a channel that I kind of just recently started watching, like within the last couple of months. And this channel is funny because if you scroll through YouTube and you're looking through stuff and you click on one video underneath this topic, your whole feed, recommended feed, is going to probably start showing you videos from every YouTuber that talks about this kind of stuff. And the topic is men's dating. Now, I don't necessarily follow the dating coaches and all of that kind of stuff, but I happen to look at one video. The video is for Kevin Samuels, which he's not the person I'm talking about. If you ever looked into this, I'm pretty sure you've came across a Kevin Samuels video here and there. But just from that particular day, I ran across another channel. And this channel I enjoyed so much that I subscribed to this channel, and I kind of been checking out their videos every time I sit down and have a session watching TV on YouTube, which I said the tiny screen, but I generally watch YouTube on my TV. You know, I don't generally watch any kind of content on my phone or tablet. It's usually on my television. And if I'm in a situation where I'm checking out something and I'm not near my TV, it'll be my laptop. But I don't know. Some people can use their phones to watch. I can't do that. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's these things, you know, I don't know. My eyesight probably just isn't that good anymore. I can't sit there and watch things on my phone. Now I can look up something real quick just to find out some information that I'm looking for on the fly, but I can't sit there and just watch content on my phone. This channel is called Abba and Preach. Man, this channel is so funny. Now I said I ran across them when I happened to see a Kevin Samuels video, and they ended up in my recommended after I seen a Kevin Samuels video and I started watching their videos. Now they follow a lot of the men's dating stuff, but they're not necessarily dating coaches. They're like a reaction channel, you know, a little bit more than a reaction channel because they give their inputs on things and not necessarily just always reacting to things. You know, they'll have a topic and they'll talk about that topic. And I find my thoughts are in line with theirs on a lot of things, which I guess when you find somebody like that, you kind of will be drawn to them. But that's not why I subscribe to them, and that's not why I watch them. Why I watch them is because they are so funny. They're just so funny. I watch them because while what they're talking about are things that I kind of can relate to and kind of can agree with them on a lot of the things that they talk about, it's just that up beyond that, they're just so funny. I mean, sometimes I'll be watching them and will just be laughing out loud, crying in the room by myself, watching them on TV, you know. And it's funny because, you know, I'm not that type of person that'll laugh out loud when I'm sitting there watching stuff by myself. I mean, I can be watching a funny movie or a sitcom or something on TV, and it can be funny, and I can think it's funny, but I'm not laughing out loud. I'm just, you know, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny. But they will have me, I mean, ha, 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 ha. I mean, they'll have me laughing out loud, you know, crying sometimes on some of the things that they'll say and they'll do and all of that kind of stuff. But that's Abba and Preach. And make sure you spell Abba's name right because he does not like it when you misspell his name. It's only 3 letters. Get it right. But they're funny. I would say if you like to hear about, you know, people talking about serious real life things, you know, things that you might can relate to. But they also have a comedic aspect. I think outside of the YouTube channel, I think they both are comedians, are stand-up comedians, which is probably why they're so funny, you know. But if you want to laugh and hear something that'll help your mind, you know, especially for the men out there, because a lot of this is geared towards men. Women can enjoy it too, but a lot of their content is mostly geared towards men. Check out Abba and Preach. All right, so the next thing on my list. Now, this is a channel that I've been following for a long time, you know. Now, when I was a kid, I used to be into comics, and I'm talking about when I was young, like elementary school age. I used to be in comics, you know, I used to collect comics and all of that kind of stuff. But as I got older, I kind of stopped that part of it. Like I didn't buy them anymore. I didn't necessarily read them anymore. But one thing I did was I still kept up with them. You know, I might not read the comics anymore, but I still will. If there's some kind of storyline I hear about this going into comics, I'm looking online and I'm finding out about that storyline. So I have a vague familiarity, can't speak, with a lot of comics type stuff and storylines that goes on in comics and stuff like that, especially more so with Marvel than DC, because Marvel has always been like my favorite out of the two if I had to compare the two. But I've always had a familiarity with those, and I like to, you know, I like to keep up with it, you know, even though I don't necessarily I have read comics here and there recently. Some, like the last comic I read was one called Something is Killing the Children, and I got this was a recommendation from this channel. Now the channel that I'm talking about is called Blurred Without Fear. You got my man Ernie, and he's just pretty good. His channel, he puts out about 3 videos a week, and basically a lot of his videos is just that he will take a character or a storyline or something that's going on with comics, and he would just make about anywhere from like a 10-minute to 15, 20-minute video, just breaking that whole thing down. You know, if you want to keep informed with things and you're not necessarily reading comics like me, like my situation, check out his channel. He will keep you up to date. You'll be in the know on what's all going on. Like he says, he's the one that, what does he say? Build your comic book big brain or something like that. You got to watch the channel, watch it. He also does a live stream every weekend. It's a couple hours long. Him and another guy named Carter, which their live stream is pretty entertaining. I don't watch it all the time, but I do catch it here and there. Sometimes I watch it live. Sometimes I watch the replays. Blurred Without Fear. They're great. You see their image up on the screen. You know, go ahead and check him out, man Ernie, and Carter. You know, Carter, he's not on the main videos, but he'd be on the live stream that they have on the weekends. So that's it. That's my comic book fix. Now, there's a lot of other comics type websites, channels out there, and sometimes I'll catch a video here and there from those other channels, but Blurred Without Fear is the one that I follow. That's the one I go to when I want to find out the latest comic books. That's my channel when it comes to comics, you know. All right, so I'm gonna save my best category for last. My best category, the category that when I go on, this is what I check out the most. I'm going to save that for last, but I got 2 categories I want to talk about first before I get to that category. Okay, the first of that category is, of course, YouTube, people that help you build your YouTube channel and all of that kind of stuff. Of course, if you are a YouTube creator, and especially when I'm in my second year of doing this now, but of course, a lot more so when I was first started and I'm looking into things and I'm trying to figure out what I need to do and how to do it and stuff like that. You know, I had my rotation of YouTube channels. They just kind of gave you tips and tricks and how-tos and tutorials on how to do a lot of things. And the 3 channels that I kind of made sure I watched the most out of all of them was, one of them is my man Nick Nimmin. He has an awesome channel, lots of good YouTube content, you know, lots of content to help you with your YouTube channel. He also does a live stream on the weekends to help give tips where people can call in and do like channel, get like channel reviews and have questions and all of that kind of stuff. That's Nick Nimmin. The second person on my list is Roberto Blake. Now, Roberto Blake, he has a lot of good YouTube information, how you build YouTube, and he kind of goes off on other things, just other life type things, other things about building yourself, building your business and stuff like that. And then the last channel on my list is Channel Makers. He's one I found out kind of later on. I found out about kind of later on, but has a lot of excellent tips, a lot of excellent, things that you can learn from him. So there we have it. Those are the 3 channels that I watch consistently. That is Nick Nimmin, Roberto Blake, and Channel Makers. All great channels. Now, there's other channels that I look at too. There's other channels. I can't think of their names right now, but these 3 are the main 3 that I look at. But there are some other ones that I check out also. Okay, so before we get to my favorite category, I got one more I want to talk about, and this one is a big one. About 10 years ago, I'm gonna say 2012, I kind of started getting into photography. I went out and I bought a mirrorless camera. This was back when mirrorless cameras was brand spanking new. I think Sony had came out with their mirrorless line. It was like one of the first ones. And I went out and bought one of the Sony mirrorless cameras, right? So I kind of got into photography. I went all in, you know, I started going out and doing street photography and taking pictures and learning and all of that kind of stuff. It didn't last that long. After a while, some other thing came up and I ended up selling my camera and I forgot about it. But sometime last year, I ended up with another camera. It was another mirrorless camera. This time it was Canon, and I got back into photography again, you know. And the difference between this time and last time is that now there is tons of information out there to help you. Back then, I felt like I was going at it alone. I could find some information, but it wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't like a ton of YouTube channels and tutorials and stuff like that. It's just more like me combing forums and stuff like that. The information was harder to come by last year, but now it's all kinds of information. And you know, and I've gotten all into photography and everything. And there are tons of photography related YouTube channels that I watch now. And I'm going to go through them. It's a lot of them. And what I'm going to go through is not even all of the ones I watch, but I'm going to go through them. Okay, so first on my list, I got my list up on the screen over here. Now, first on my list is photo-me-ike. He wasn't the first one that I ran across, but he's one of the people that I keep up with now. And the reason why I like this channel, for one thing, you know, when you look at the YouTube space, you know, YouTube photography space, you don't see too many African-American people. There are some, but you don't see a lot. Like YouTube rarely recommends any African-American people to me when it comes to the photography space. And I ran across his site, and I ran across a few others since I found him, but he's the one that I subscribe to, that I stick to, that I watch all the time. And the thing I like about photo-me-ike, now he uses a Nikon. Like I use Canon, he uses a Nikon. Now the thing I like about his channel is that his channel, like if you want to see how a photo shoot is done, you know, his channel, a lot of his videos are based on him meeting a model somewhere and then doing a photo shoot, and what you're seeing is the behind the scenes. He got some videos where he's giving tips. He got some video where he's giving product reviews and stuff like that, but the majority of his content is him just doing behind the scene videos of photo shoots. Every time he have a beautiful model that he meets up somewhere and he's like, okay, we're going to do this, and he talks through what he's doing and why he's doing it and stuff like that. And it's just good. I mean, if you trying to learn photography and you haven't really done a whole lot of photo shoots yet, you don't really know what all goes involved in a photo shoot, he's a good channel to watch because you can just watch it and see what he's doing, get ideas of posing and all kinds of stuff from him. The next channel that I watch a lot on my list is Manny Ortiz. Same thing with him. He's the same type of channel. He does the same thing, a lot of behind the scenes. You know, he goes somewhere, he tells you, okay, today what I'm working on is this. I'm working on this focal length. I'm working on, you know, shooting in shadows. I'm working on shooting into the sun. You know, he'll have something that he's working on doing, but you'll have the full behind the scenes of him doing that particular photo shoot. And he's walking through what he's doing. He's giving you tips on why he do things a certain way and what things are better and that like that. And it's just good. It's just when you want to learn what to do, either where you want to learn what to do or just get ideas, you know, Manny Ortiz, pretty good. He's another channel that I watch. Let's see on my list here. Another one now there's a couple of people that I follow that are wedding photographers. I'm not necessarily interested in wedding photography. I kind of feel like I don't want to, that's not something I want to get into. I don't know how I feel later on, but right now I feel like that's something that I don't really want to get into. But this particular person that I watch, his name is John Branch. His channel is John Branch Photography. He's actually in North Carolina also. Like I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm not sure what part of North Carolina he is in. He's not near me. I think he's like in the Raleigh-Durham area, but he does wedding photography. Most of his videos focus on the business side of being a photographer and being a wedding photographer. I'm not interested in wedding photography, but his information is still very good. It's very helpful. You know, you don't have to be interested in wedding photography to get value out of his information, but he's pretty good. John Branch Photography. The next on my list there is Adrian Lard. Now, Adrian Lard, he probably don't know me. He probably don't remember me. He's also another person based in North Carolina, but I met him not through his photography website. A while back when I first started my channel, I had someone do a channel review. And this is what, sometimes what you'll do is you'll find these people that will go to your channel and they'll review your channel and they'll tell you things on your channel that you need to work on, things that's working and stuff like that. Well, he was somebody that I had hired. I think I found him on Fiverr or something like that. And I did a channel review with him. And he gave me some really good advice. He's a pretty good guy, really personable guy, really good guy, pretty good. But later on when I got into photography, I realized that he has a YouTube channel and it's a photography YouTube channel, which I knew he had a YouTube channel when I did it. I just didn't, I never knew what it was about. But he has a photography YouTube channel. He's also a wedding photographer, and he gives a lot of tips. He's similar to John Branch. He gives a lot of tips on the business side of it, to help you make your photography business grow and things to do to help you out and the mistakes and all of that kind of stuff. But he has a pretty good channel. And this is getting long because I got a lot of people on my list. So the rest of these people on my list, I'm just going to go through the names, Okay, so we got Jessica Kobisi. Watch her channel a lot. Vanessa Joy, she gives a lot of good. Then we got Jared Poland, Fro Knows Photos. If you ever seen that channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. He got a lot of good information. A lot of his stuff is like product reviews, news, and the tech side. He focuses a lot on the tech side of photography. Then we got Taylor Jackson, which is another wedding photographer. And one of the reasons why I like him is that he's an introvert too. I'm an introvert, and he's an introvert too. And it's pretty good to see how people who are introverts, deal with situations where they have to deal with a lot of people. Because if you're a wedding photographer, you got to deal with a lot of people. And us introverts don't necessarily want to do that. We want to be left alone, And it ain't about being shy. A lot of people misinterpret introvert as being shy. That's not it. We don't want to deal with a lot of people. We want to do our own thing and be left to our own. But he's an introvert, so I like watching his content because it does give me an idea of how you deal with stuff like that when you don't really feel like dealing with a bunch of people, Then we got Pierre T. Lambert, which he's probably one of the first people I ran across. Now, his channel I like because he does a lot of street photography, and it's like a really relaxing watch, because like he'll go out into a city and just walk up and down the street doing street photography. He has a camera on, so you get the POV, his POV as he's walking around and he's talking about the things he's doing, why he took this shot and why he took that shot and all of that kind of stuff. Just a really relaxing channel. You can just sit there and watch his videos for hours if you don't have nothing else to do, because it's just relaxing to see him walking up and down the street and taking pictures and stuff like that. Then we got Anita Sodowski and Irene Rudnick. Those two other people they do a lot of behind the scenes shoots. Really like their channel. So that's my list. There's more people that I watch. Those are the main ones. I know it's long already, but now I'll be able to get to my favorite category. My favorite category right now that I watch pretty often, every time I turn on YouTube. And that category is, of course, similar to mine, movie reviews, TV show reviews, those type of YouTubers. Now I got three people that I consistently watch, in that space. And I'm going to tell you about those. All right. The first channel that I watch, I found out about his channel a while ago. Like all of these channels I found out fairly recently. And when I say fairly recently, I'm not talking about the last couple of months. I'm talking about maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, since I've started my channel. Now the first channel that I watch all the time, is E-Man's Movie Reviews. He's the guy that I brought him up before on another podcast when I was talking about, another video where I was talking about recast T'Challa. Now, he's the one that started that movement. Now, E-Man Movie Reviews, pretty good content. He does all the kinds of movie reviews, TV show reviews, a lot of stuff like that. If you want to be kept up to date, he actually got a lot of interviews and stuff like that with different actors and entertainers and directors and stuff like. He has a lot of content on his page. Covers a lot of topics in the space. And that's E-Man Movie Reviews. Now, another channel I found out, and I found out about this channel through E-Man, and that is Just My Opinion Reviews. Brandon Keith Avery. I love his channel. He talks about, I kind of feel like the things that he think about and the things he talk about and his thoughts on movies kind of mirror me a little bit, or I mirror him a little bit. I don't know which way you want to say. In one of my videos a while ago, I said that, when I watch a movie and I know I'm going to do a video on it, I do not watch any reviews on it because I don't want those reviews to influence what my thoughts on it. He is one of the main people because me and him, I do think a lot of his thoughts are similar to my thoughts on movies. So I definitely can't watch his movie. I'll start repeating what he says. Now, I just recently did my Batman video and I didn't watch any reviews when I recorded that video. And I watched his review on Batman like maybe a week after I posted my video. It was a while before I watched any Batman reviews. And his video, he says a whole lot of the same things that I said on my video. You know, we had a lot of this. There were some things that he was a little bit different than me, but his thoughts on it was very similar. My thoughts on it was very similar to his. And it was a good thing I didn't watch his first because I could have seen that me just pretty much repeating some of his exact words, you know, subconsciously, not on purpose. I wouldn't do it on purpose, but you know, we're human, you know. But yeah, a lot of his thoughts were the same as my thoughts. And that's why I like watching him, because I know if I watch a video, if I watch him do a review of a video of a TV show or a movie and he thinks a certain thing about it, like he likes it, I'm pretty sure that I'm probably going to like it too, because I feel like we're so similar, you know, as far as what I've seen for the most part. I mean, there's some things we differ. Everybody's not going to be completely the same, but for the most part, I could feel pretty confident that if he likes something, I'm probably going to like it too. So if I was on the fence about watching something and he liked it, then I would like, okay, that would be enough to push me over the fence to go watch that thing. Okay, so the last channel on my list here, and this is a channel that I recently came across, you know, and I recently found out because Just My Opinion Reviews, he does live streams sometimes. E-Man does too, but he does live streams sometimes. And sometimes his live streams, he'll have other YouTubers on his live stream with him. And that's how I found out about Movie Files. I like that channel too. That channel, a lot of content based on a lot of different movies and TV shows. All three of those channels that I mentioned are ones that I like. You know, when I turn on, I want to watch about movies, you know, those three are in my rotation. They're my main ones that are in my rotation. Now, there's other channels that I look at too, but those three right there are in my rotation. That's who I watch first. But yeah, but that's what I watch on YouTube. I mean, there's other stuff. I get on little rabbit holes on different topics and stuff sometimes, but basically that's what I watch, you know. I'm curious, what kind of stuff do you watch on YouTube? I'd like to hear what other people watch. And I'm gonna put link up to everybody that I mentioned in this show in the show notes below, in the description below. So if you want to check them out, go check them out. They're all good channels, you know. But yeah, but that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.